Good evening. It is December 29th, 2020. We're in that weird time between Christmas and New Year's where we really don't want to do anything, but we have the end of the year responsibilities that must be done. Yeah, you enjoy that. We did have some nice meals this week, though. Luke recounts the time that Jesus enjoyed a fancy meal. Maybe not for the menu or for the company, but definitely for the teaching opportunity it provided the Lord. In Luke chapter 14, verses 1 to 11, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation, second edition, we read, "One Sabbath, Jesus went to eat dinner in the home of a leader of the Pharisees, and the people were watching him closely. There's a man there whose arms and legs were swollen. Jesus asked the Pharisees and experts in religious law, 'Is it permitted in the law to heal people on the Sabbath day or not?' When they refused to answer, Jesus touched the sick man and healed him and sent him away. Then he turned to them and said, 'Which of you doesn't work on the Sabbath? If your son or your cow falls into a pit, don't you rush to get him out?' Again, they could not answer. When Jesus noticed that all who had come to the dinner were trying to sit in the seats of honor near the head of the table, he gave them this advice. When you're invited to a wedding feast, don't sit in the seat of honor. What if someone who's more distinguished than you has also been invited? The host will come and say, 'Give this person your seat.' Then you'll be embarrassed and you'll have to take whatever seat's left over at the foot of the table. Instead, take the lowest place at the foot of the table. Then when your host sees you, he will come and say, 'Friend, we have a better place for you.' Then you'll be honored in front of all the other guests. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Here Jesus is enjoying the Sabbath meal at the Pharisee's house. Would have been a formal meal with every complete Jewish ritual being practiced. There were hand-washing bowls, and quite frankly, enough snobbery to fill a stadium. Everyone else was minding their own business, but Jesus notices the sick man. He forestalled the objections of the Pharisees by asking a question about Sabbath healing, and reminds them they would work to save a cow that fell in a pit on the Sabbath. He heals the man. No muss, no fuss, no fanfare, daring them to make a big deal out of it. Then Jesus took notice of the practice of the social climbers, who were always striving to get the best seats. He reminded them that their desire for status could easily backfire and leave them with egg on their face. He exhorted humility and the accompanying chance for recognition and honor. 2021 starts in a few days. Planning for the future is more difficult than ever, but facing the future is possible with Christ's good teaching. First, always notice those who are sick and suffering. Resolve to help those who are sick and suffering in 2021. You may help financially or with your time and efforts. It may take the form of praying for and caring for healthcare workers who are certainly weary at this stage of the pandemic. But notice the sick and suffering. Do not allow them to be background noise. Second, approach life with humility. Our world suffers from the arrogance of many, some of them in positions of power, but some trying to grasp power in every small situation they're involved in. Be humble. Recognize that you serve a God who is mighty, and he has enough clout and power that we do not need to grasp for our own power and authority. If you're placed in a position of authority, exercise it with grace and humility. By the grace of God, we go forth and face the future because we trust God has a plan for us. God bless you in the new year.